You need a break already? Your travels sure have made you soft. Can't we just go and get this over with? We're not fighting a trained army here. We'll run circles around those morons. All right, suit yourself. Just don't keep me waiting too long. You call crushing ants a challenge? The novelty of these little scuffles quickly wore off for me. Now it's just tedious. It amazes me that some people enjoy it so much. Keep up if you want my help. I don't want to be stuck here all day.
I know that many of the younger generation see me as a sort of legendary figure. Why, my stories and my accomplishments can even be found in Kosharawar textbooks. But it does seem that people aren't quite used to having a legend living among them. No one takes my courses or pays attention to my research. Even securing research funding can be a struggle. If I were lucky enough to have one of my predecessors here in the flesh, I'd be waiting on her hand and foot, serving her tea, massaging her shoulders, asking her all sorts of questions. What happened to this generation? Where is their inquisitiveness? Where is their respect?
How are you feeling? Try not to worry too much about the next fight. I've heard people say that having a good attitude actually benefits your health. Even if spearmanship isn't my strong suit, I'll do my best to protect you in this battle.
I rarely encounter opportunities to rest mid-journey. During battle, slowing down is even more out of the question. However, given that this is not a solo operation, I will go along with what you think is best. In any case, this is an acceptable place for a brief period of respite. I think I'll read a little before the next battle begins. Please refrain from recommending something like a newspaper. I recognize that short-form articles may be a fitting choice, considering the limited amount of time at our disposal, but they're simply not to my taste.
Before I go on a long journey, I tend to leave the children of the House of the Hearth with some homework to complete in my absence. Many of them, however, simply play to their heart's content for most of the time I am gone, then rush to get their homework done in the final few days before my return. They believe I am none the wiser, but I have simply elected not to expose their chicanery. After all, to complete one's work in a short time frame is a skill in its own right. The enemies we face are of a lowly breed. Deal with them however you see fit. But do not get complacent. You should expect to fend for yourself, as I am not in the habit of coming to other people's rescue. If you do encounter a foe for whom you are no match, simply make yourself scarce, and I shall deal with in due course.
Quite a few books. Storybooks, mostly. A rare sight in the House of Dana. They claim it would distract the students from their studies. But if the fate of a student's studies depends on externally imposed restrictions, whether to storybooks or otherwise, they won't make it far in academia. Rest time, you say? Then let's give our vocal cords a rest. Grab some coffee, and spend some time thinking about the things you're usually too busy for.
There are a lot of storybooks here, but make sure to return them to the shelves after you've finished reading them. And whatever you do, never leave a book on top of a dinner plate. Why, you ask? Well, for the simple reason that it just won't go down well.
You know how merchants in a hurry sometimes dangle a little food in front of their sumpter beast's face, right? To get them to move faster? I think people are the same way. Give them a little hope, and they can achieve a whole lot more. Take their hope away, and they never seem to succeed. So, I'll explore this place with you to the end.
Let's never stop hoping for victory. Okay, I've brought some water and some rations. Later on, we can build a fire and grill some meat. You think we should be safe enough here? Oh yeah, I know. That's why I figured this would be a great place for a picnic. The battles are important, but we should take some time to relax first.
Huh, the novels here actually aren't all that bad. But a little fried tofu and a few drinks would make things better still. So, little one, do you think you could pull a few strings and get your hands on some for me? Without them, I don't think I'll be able to muster the energy to help you explore this domain. Oh, the look on your face, so dumbfounded. I'm joking, can't you tell? Do you really believe the great Lady Guji herself would be so fickle? Dear me, is it time to go off and fight again already? All this running around is getting quite exasperating. I have half a mind to transform into a kitsune and hitch a ride on your shoulder. You'd like that, wouldn't you? In your dreams. Oh, little one, you've still got a long way before Yae Miko the Wise and Beautiful permits you to see her true form.
Hey, cutie. Heading back in? You know, the further in we go, the tougher the monsters are going to get. But you've got nothing to worry about. I know every monster's weak spot like the back of my hand. I've read everything there is to know on the topic. So if you need someone to teach them a lesson, just let me know. It's a rare treat to have a little time to laze around and not have to think about all the fighting and killing. Still, even lazing around isn't much fun on your own. Do you want to keep me company for a bit, cutie? I can read you a story if you'd like.
I do hope I'll get to read a story about a rebellious princess. You know, the type who sheds her long, cumbersome skirts and learns equestrianism, swordplay, perhaps even medicine. She'll live freely, take to the field to defeat evil personally, and defend the people and nation by her own hand. You know what? I might just write that story myself. Don't be too weirded out if you see me with my mask off while we rest. I'm just getting some fresh air. This place is way too idle. It gets to you after a while. Gotta take some deep breaths. Not that I'm rushing you, of course. I'll wait until you've made your preparations in full.
What's that, you say? I could have sworn I just heard you invite me to go monster fighting in this domain with you. Strange. I slept perfectly well last night. Why am I having auditory hallucinations? Dory Sangamabe is just a straightforward businesswoman. So let me put it to you this way. Why would any business person take such a huge gamble on their own life unless there was, oh, I don't know, a few dozen million mora to be made? Here's my counteroffer. A custom-made Domain Delver survival kit just for you. Great value for your mora and available at a discounted price for a limited time only. If there really was such a thing as a miracle potion that could cure all disease, I'm sure it would be auctioned off and sold for an astronomical price. But in this fairy tale, the fairy gives her magic potion to the prince for free. She has no business sense at all. If you want my opinion, praying to a fairy isn't the answer. Better to go out and make some mora.
These monsters are stronger all the time. Probably 'cause I'm on the team, I bet. But the good news is, as the leader of Benny's adventure team, I've learned a lot about how to draw monsters' attention. I'll lure them out, and once they charge at me, you guys wait for the right moment to take them all down. If it's okay with you, I think we should check all the pillars in this room, just to make sure they're sturdy. If I spend too long in one place, sooner or later, accidents happen. It's not me I'm worried about. But if I'm gonna keep on adventuring with you, we gotta make sure everybody else is safe.
There are many reasons why a samurai might draw their blade, but the principle is always the same. To do what they know in their heart is right. Though we walk a perilous path where powerful foes face us at every turn, and though I cannot sense what lies at its end, I tread onwards with no fear in my heart. My mind is at ease, for I tread this path in your company. I don't believe anyone enjoys taking up arms and going to war, unless they're seeking to fulfill some other desire. Whenever the sound of clashing blades fades into the distance, I appreciate the silence that follows all the more. Too quiet for you? Then I'll play a tune on the leaf, so you can be surrounded with the sound of nature.
The books here are really interesting. They're full of twists and turns that all but defy even my intuition. I can't help but think this domain is a detective's mortal foe. Without a crime, there can be no deduction. And even the greatest storms simply rage on, unchecked. But then I remember that all this is to help you. And that's what makes this long grind worth it, right? My instincts say that this is a safe spot. Not the slightest whiff of lies or conspiracies. Although, to be honest, I wouldn't be averse to a little more atmosphere here. Lightning flashing outside the windows or a blizzard howling away. We could turn the lights off and tell some ghost stories. Ah, well, we don't always get what we want in life. So instead, pull up a chair and let's get some rest.
You look troubled. Are you worried about the enemies we will soon face? Ah, I see. Sorry, I should have noticed sooner. You asked me to join your team. It is only right that I share this burden with you. The Dandelion Knight's sword is at your command. Let us proceed.